The year is 2030. The Great Third War is coming to its conclusion, and there is just but one attack that will end it all. It is the Great Blast. As the morning rises and the attack sunsets, we know that the war will come to a conclusion once this hits. But wait. It did no damage. Oh my goodness. It did no damage. Wow, that's because the Hydra termination got a debuff, y'all. Ha 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 ha. Hate to see it for all of you who use Hydra. Personally, I don't use Hydra, so it's not really a big deal. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover the new units. We're going to cover all that, all the above here today. But it looks like the Great War number 3 is going to be going on a bit longer because the Hydra termination ain't doing what it needs to do. Be sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Helps out tremendously. Much love. So first things on the agenda is a Hydra termination is getting a debuff. This was mentioned in the headline. It's coming down to a 75%. You know what I'm saying? It's 100%, so it's coming down to 75%. So taking a little bit off there. And for anyone who might be wondering, dude, what? No, Hydra termination is getting the debuff. No, why? It needed one, dude. Let's be completely honest. We all knew it was strong as hell. Pretty much like that's what everyone used. It was strong as hell. Like if that was the option to use, it was going to be, it's still going to be the option. And either way, it's still going to be the option to use on like downs and whatnot. So welcome to the party. You know, personally, I'm a Selio user, so I can't relate. I use Selio regardless anyway. So this works perfectly fine for me. It evens things out because, you know, of course, sometimes I do notice, you know, it's like I might be doing, of course, you know, I run MDFD all the time. So, of course, you know, I might go into the last portion of the fight. And, of course, like I have aggro, right? I go into the last portion of the fight. And then, you know, we go into the blast phase, right? And of course, I'm using the Selio, and these other people are always using, you know, the Hydras, right? And then I, you know, slowly but surely see, you know, the hate, the aggro icon go away off of me, right? Because the Hydra termination does that much damage, right? But, you know, I personally enjoy the Selio, so I've always used the Selio. I always will continue to use the Selio because I'm not based on, you know, on just because this system that I don't need to use, the Mars, is, you know, so strong with this one or whatever. It's like I don't like the Hydra, so I prefer the Selio combination with that. But anyways, that's whatever. Just so y'all know, that is going to occur in early November, so that's coming right around the corner. We're gonna be coming around the corner when she comes. She'll be coming around the corner when she comes. As you can see here, it's listed on the website. It says adjustment details. Potency will be reduced for the Hydra termination attack that occurs when holding down the weapon action button for the Hydra main armament. Certain actions for each armament will be made more powerful. So they're gonna lower that main action there, but then they're going to increase the potency on, you know, on these other attacks and whatnot. So that's how that one's going to work with that one, with the Hydra. So for those of y'all who have been on the Hydra, and you know, and by the way, like I said, this just balances it out. It's still, they clearly stated it's still the best option, you know, like for downs and stuff like that. So I mean, it doesn't really take away from what the, you know, what it's going to be doing, right? It doesn't really take away from any of that at all, even in any way, shape, or form, right? So there's nothing to worry about there. You can still use it. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but it definitely needed to, it was definitely something that needed to happen for sure. Because I mean, it definitely was far, you know, far outscaled, 100%. So that's the update there. And so sorry, so sorry for you. And then moving on, we have the units and the weapons that are going to be upgraded. As I previously mentioned in my, you know, in my past video, of course, well, actually, just straight out the gate, let's just go ahead and say that, okay, these are coming first week in November. So remember in my other video, I made, you know, showed the roadmap, and I showed that logically speaking, you know, I wasn't really expecting them to December, but I also said I would love to be proved wrong because I have no issue being proved wrong. So it's nice that I did get proved wrong here because they're coming much quicker than I thought that they were going to. However, I also did mention before in my streams that it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to trickle these in to the LTQ, seeing as there was nothing really going to be happening in November, because they did do this previously with the Octo, I believe it was the Octo Arga Belta and Stasis. I believe it was the Octos. They were trickled in LTQs first. So I did mention that. I was like, okay, well, I could see that happening because there's no other real incentive during that month. So that's exactly what appears to be the case, because these are actually going to be available in these LGQs. That's how you're going to get these materials and whatnot. But so the Tri-Selio series is going to be an upgrade from the Duo Selio series, going to have a enhanced potential, of course, enhanced damage. You're going to have the materials, most of the materials already there. And then, of course, you'll just have to get the two versions, which, judging by how they're kind of talking about it, maybe the drop rates on them aren't super high. They're going to be in the LTQs, but maybe the drop rates aren't super duper high with those. But nonetheless, that's going to be great. Now, in terms of the armor, these are going to be the Trestasis armors. So going to be an upgrade from your current Dostasis. And as I kind of mentioned, this is why I never use willy-nilly like Shaza, Belta, Arga, any terminologies like that, because the fact of the matter is that we did not know until now how it was going to be implemented. You didn't know if it was going to be just one an upgrade to one unit or whatever. And that's also why I never was really scared about, them locking us into a path or something of the sort. Now, I understand why people might have those concerns, and that's okay. However, in my head, it never really made logical sense, because the Sega team does learn. It's like, not like they're going to keep making these same mistakes. They know when the community got upset with things like these in the past. Like, they're not going to force you into this thing. So it was never really, it would have very highly surprised me if they made a situation where it forced you into a path. It would have very, 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 very highly surprised me with how it was introduced, how it was implemented, when it was implemented, and where they've been moving with the game. So it would have very much surprised me. And it appears to be the case that you can just use whichever one to upgrade to your Trestasis armor, which is how it should be, how I pretty much expected it to be, which is why I didn't really hesitate with upgrading my Dostasis. I'm not really the type who lives in fear. Not really the type who lives in what ifs. What ifs? What if you don't do it? What if you do it? You know what I'm saying? Well, what if for so long that you're missing the what now? Let that sink in, y'all. Let that sink in. What if for so long that you're missing the what now? Dropping some knowledge on it. I didn't even mean to drop it. Didn't mean to drop it like that, but I'm dropping it anyway, baby. So anyways, these are going to be introduced in November 6th. Like I said, these are going to be lined up. The material that you're going to need is going to be lined up through the LTQs all throughout the month. So there's an assortment of LTQs. We're not really going to cover those right now, because we're just kind of focusing on the armament, Hydra, and the units and the weapon. So naturally, you need to be looking towards this, be looking into it. We don't know how heavily the drop rate is going to be on the materials, aside from obviously the prog rate and the materials that we already have abundance of. But we don't know what the material is going to be like for what the drop rate is going to be like for the new material, and how it's going to, how rarely available it's going to be. It seemed, like I said, from how they were talking about it, because it seemed to be an incentive in like every LTQ. So maybe it doesn't drop too much, which it will actually be good, because then that provides some sort of reason to actually be running it, right? Now, of course, don't make it like a stupid drop rate, or if anything, make it, they can even do it be just like 1 or 2 per run or something like that, right? Even that would kind of justify it, right? That would kind of justify running this stuff. So there's that. That will all be here on November 6th, starting out, and the whole month is just full of LTQs, different assortment, little solo battles, and group battles, different ways to play in each one. So that's kind of what the next month is going to be like. Of course, we knew that November was going to be LTQ, as I mentioned in the roadmap before. So there wasn't really high expectations there. Of course, you got some collabs and whatnot coming along, as well as some scratches. So there are things to look forward to in this month. And this month will probably be a great month for anyone who's returning to really catch up, for new players to really take advantage of some things. We have events down the line in December as well for the Super Genesis Festival. So things to look forward to for sure as we move in towards the end of 2024 and into 2025. Hopefully your high determination is able to, hopefully you're able to find some way around that so that the war ends. Ooh, it feels great being a silly user. Anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Much love. Holla. Spike to content.